What's going on, Internet? It's me, Brad of all trades, and today we have a very special guest, a man who took the Internet by storm in 2016 by asking a simple question at the presidential debate between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Ken Bone.
Hey Brad, Ken Bone here. I am really glad to be here. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. And right off the bat, let's address the elephant in the room. No, I do not just have a mustache. And no, I am not wearing red. But you and all your fans are just going to have to take your word for it. I am, in fact, me.
So let's talk more about that famous red sweater. Is it true you didn't even plan to wear it that day?
Yeah, Brad, I actually was going to wear a totally different outfit that day. See, I had to be there at the debate venue at like 8 in the morning, even though the debate wasn't until 7 o'clock. So I was wearing this suit that my grandfather helped me pick out. My grandfather had passed away the year before, and he was famously known throughout our circle of friends and family as being like the sharp-dressed guy. And he helped me pick out this suit, and we really loved the suit. And so I was going to wear it as like my tribute to him on TV. I thought that would be really cool. And then when I put it on, I realized that I had gained about 20 pounds since his funeral. And then when I went to get in the car, I completely ripped the seat out of the pants of that suit, and I had to immediately change. And that sweater is like the nicest thing that I own that I could change into in like 2 minutes or less. Otherwise, I was going to be late, and they wouldn't have let me into the venue. So yeah, it was a complete accident, basically.
That's a pretty funny story. The red sweater was definitely iconic. You went from 7 followers to thousands in minutes after the debate. Was that tough to comprehend?
Well, in a way it was kind of tough to comprehend, mostly because I didn't even have Twitter on my phone until like the next day. I hadn't used Twitter for a couple of years. I had only ever sent one tweet, ever. And it was to Ariana Grande. My son was a fan of hers because we all used to watch Victorious together. That was the Nickelodeon show she was on. And I think it was around like Donut Lick Gate or whatever. And she was catching a lot of flack online. And we were like, hey, you know what? It'd be cool if we said something nice about her. So we tweeted something nice to her. And that was my only tweet ever. I only had 7 followers. 2 of them were my grandmother. My grandma followed me, and then she forgot her password, and she made up a whole new account so she could follow me again. That was the only followers I have. Now I have 172,000, which is way down. At my peak, I had over 250,000, but apparently 80,000 people have come to their senses since then. But in another way, it wasn't really that tough to comprehend because Twitter is just like shouting into a vacuum. And it's not like if I get 200 or 300 replies or 5,000 likes or whatever, which I still occasionally will get those kind of numbers. It's not like I got to talk to those people in person. It's just a number on a screen. You got to kind of put it into perspective and learn to tune out the negative and just use social media for the fun tool that it is. It's not part of my career or whatever. So in that way, it wasn't as tough. You just kind of put it into perspective a little bit.
You are right. The Internet sure is a strange place. You were asked to appear on multiple TV shows and news channels, not counting this one, of course. What was your favorite appearance?
My favorite thing that I did, let's see, on television would have been the Jimmy Kimmel Show the second time I was on. I was Jimmy Kimmel's live correspondent in Las Vegas for debate number 3. The debate that I was a part of was debate number 2, and I was on Jimmy's show the next day after that. They really liked me on the show and decided they wanted to fly me out to Las Vegas to cover the 3rd debate for him. So I went to UNLV and joined their watch party for the debate out there with Jimmy Kimmel's producers. And then I had Jimmy's writer's room in my ear and an earpiece, and we were live via satellite on the Jimmy Kimmel Show. And I think I was on for a total of about 8 or 10 minutes that night. Just completely live, riffing back and forth with Jimmy, giving him my opinions on the debate, trying to come up with jokes. Used some that the writer's room fed me, used some of my own. They all landed pretty well. Made me feel really good about myself that I was kind of keeping up with professional writers. Now, I don't want it to sound like I'm too egotistical. They're better than me, but I got a few good ones in that they were happy with. So, yeah, it was a really good time. That was probably the most fun on TV. Now, the most fun thing I did of any kind was right after that. I actually flew from Las Vegas to Los Angeles because Disney had invited me to the premiere of Doctor Strange. And I got to walk the red carpet with my wife. And regular Midwestern schlubs like me don't get to take their wives onto Hollywood red carpets. That's a rare thing. And it was really, really cool that I got a chance to do that. It's something I guarantee I'll never get to do again. It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience that I was able to have with her, and she's my favorite person in the whole world. So it was an amazing experience.
I gotta say, that sounds pretty awesome. Sorry we can't send you to Vegas like Jimmy did. Maybe next time. So besides 7-year-olds like me, are you still getting requests for interviews?
Not that many. I have a speaking engagement coming up. I'll be going out to Pittsburgh to talk to a couple of schools out there as part of a very brief speaking tour. I'm on I forget what podcast it is tomorrow. It has something to do with like unique experiences, and I apologize, I don't remember the name of that podcast because I don't like it as much as yours. Yours is much more important to me. But yeah, I probably only do like, I don't know, 1 or 2 of these kind of things a month these days. The most frequent thing I'm on is a hockey podcast with my friend Chris Mancuso, talking about ice hockey and the St. Louis Blues, which I really enjoy. So that's a lot of fun. It's called Get the Puck Out, by the way, if you want to check it out, or any of your subscribers do. It's always a lot of fun. But yeah, other than that, not a whole lot.
You were shown on TV using a disposable camera during the debate. Do you always keep it old school, and how did the pictures turn out?
Well, the pictures turned out like garbage. I don't have any of them to share around because they don't look like hardly anything. They're all dark, and the framing is terrible, and all the one I have of Hillary Clinton, her face is like this big way in the background. It's awful because there's no zoom on those things. The interesting part of the disposable camera thing, it is not unique to me at all. I did not bring a disposable camera with me. I had it because none of us on the stage, the 40 participants, none of us were allowed to bring any cameras, any phones, any electronics of any kind. But the people that ran the debate, the Commission for Presidential Debates, wanted us to be able to take some pictures and have some memories. So they went to Walmart and they bought every single disposable camera there. And they gave each of us one. So everybody had one. And we all took all the pictures on them. It's just that I happened to be standing kind of by myself away from the crowd, as everybody else was taking pictures of each other sitting in the moderator's chairs and trying to get their picture with Secretary Clinton or with President Trump. I didn't really care about that. I can see pictures of Ivanka Trump. I can see pictures of Hillary Clinton on the internet. I don't need any more pictures of them. I was taking pictures of the camera and sound and light equipment because I've always been kind of a tech geek with running studio sound and that kind of stuff from the days when I used to play with bands, when I was playing the drums and the bass. So I thought all that stuff was really cool, seeing all that pro quality stuff. And so I'm just standing out there in the middle taking pictures of it and checking it out. And because the cameras happened to be looking at me since I was trending, they saw me with the camera and thought that that was unique to me when it was not at all. I had never used a disposable camera for years leading up to that point. And they gave it to us at the debate and everybody had one.
I don't even know what a disposable camera is, to be honest. Have you ever considered running for office yourself? We could use a guy like you in charge.
Actually, I don't think I would be that great at being in charge. Being in charge would be a whole lot of work. I did put some effort into looking at running for Congress in my district, Illinois District number 12. We did some polling, and I was polling very favorably versus the incumbent. And I just talked it over with my family, and it didn't seem like it was a good fit for me. Running for Congress is incredibly stressful, And it's very, very, very hard to do unless you make it your full-time job. And the problem is that it doesn't pay. You don't get paid to run for Congress. You get paid to be in Congress if you win, but you don't get paid to run for Congress. And I couldn't really support my family just on savings if I quit my job. And then if I lost, then I would have really been in trouble. I wouldn't have had any income at all. And I wasn't 100% confident that I could win. And plus, being a congressman is very, very, very stressful and difficult. And so it didn't seem like a good fit for me at the time. I'll never say never. I might run for city council or something more local or state representative at some point in the future. But it's a long shot. I don't really see myself doing it. It's not in the plan right now.
Yeah, you're probably right. Seems like a lot of stress. Now tell us about the Ken Bone Zone, and should we expect any new episodes soon?
Well, I have my podcast going. It was called the Ken Bone Zone. It ran for about 2 years. And really, I did it as an excuse to have something fun to do with my best friend, Josh, who I've known since junior high school. And he moved away. He lives in Minnesota now. I live in southern Illinois. And so we only get to see each other in person maybe once a year or once every other year. And I wanted to be able to stay in contact with him more. So I thought, well, I could start a podcast. Everybody and their mother has a podcast. So I could jump into that space. I could have a podcast, and I want Josh to be my co-host. So literally the only reason I was doing it is because it was fun to do it with him. And he graduated after a while. He was getting his master's degree. And after he graduated, he needed to start focusing on his job search. And now he's getting his foster care license so that he and his wife can start fostering children. And he was so busy that he couldn't keep up with the show. So I could have kept going with the show by myself, which is really, really, really hard. I mean, as you know, doing a show by yourself is really, really difficult. And it's hard to make quality content. I don't think I could make as high quality stuff as you do, because honestly, I don't think I'm as driven as you are. So yeah, I didn't really want to do it by myself. I didn't want to do it with another co-host because I was literally only doing it because I wanted something to do with Josh. And so we put it on the shelf. It might come back someday, but I just don't know. It was really only a thing that we did for fun, so we'll see.
Okay, Ken, last question before we go. I know you aren't usually vocal about the candidates you support, but you have recently announced your support for Andrew Yang. Now that he's out of the race, is there any other candidates you are keeping your eye on?
Well, right now, I don't want to throw any support behind any other candidates because Yang was the only one I was really passionate about. And for now, I'm just going to have to see how it shakes out. Super Tuesday is coming up soon, where we have a lot of state primaries in one day. And by the time Super Tuesday is over, we'll probably have it down to 3 or possibly 4 candidates remaining, at least serious candidates. And probably the rest of them will be gone. The only thing I can say for sure right now is that Mike Bloomberg should never, ever, 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 ever hold a position of power in this country ever again. And no one should ever vote for him. If by some horrible, awful twist of fate he gets the nomination, you should not vote for him. Please do not vote for him. He stinks. So that's not really an endorsement. That's like an anti-endorsement. But he is the candidate. I'm keeping my eye on him. Keeping my eye on him because I don't trust him.
Thanks to Ken Bone for being on the show. It's been great catching up and learning a little more about you. We hope you have a great 2020 and wish nothing but the best for you and your family.
Thanks, Brad. I really love what you're doing with the channel, and I appreciate the chance to come on the show. Keep up the good work. And to everyone watching this, make sure you subscribe to Brad of All Trades. And you know what? Hit the notification bell, too, because subscribing don't mean nothing no more.